The day she confronted her bosses about gender pay inequality was the last day of her life. She had accidentally seen a payroll sheet that revealed the secret the company has been hiding. Emily stormed into the conference room holding the printed sheet of salaries. She looked straight at the CEO and said loudly enough for the whole floor to hear, "Why are the women here making almost 20% less than the guys, even though we're doing the more work?" The room went silent. Someone dropped a pen. A few men looked away. Her boss, Greg, stared at her like she had just ruined his whole week. And in a way, she did. Now, Emily wasn't some random employee trying to cause problems. She'd been at Microcore Digital, a software company in Midtown Manhattan, for 7 years. She was the person everyone went to for answers. The one who stayed late. The one who covered shifts when people had family emergencies. The one who trained new hires. The same new hires who got promoted faster than she did. But here's the thing. Every time a leadership position opened, somehow it always went to a guy. Even when the guy had less experience. Even when Emily had led the entire team through the hardest projects. People would tell her stuff like, "Just wait your turn. You're doing great work, they'll notice. You're overthinking it." But she wasn't. Not after she accidentally saw the payroll sheet sitting on a printer one night while she was working late. The men, same roles, were making more. Some made way more. A few were barely doing anything but still got raises. That's when she knew something was off. And Emily wasn't the type to just shrug and move on. The moment she saw that list, everything clicked. The way her ideas got ignored until a male coworker repeated them. She took a picture of that payroll sheet. She shouldn't have, but she did. The next morning, she walked into Greg's office, her supervisor. She didn't yell. She didn't go dramatic. She just said, "Greg, I want to talk about the salary differences." He leaned back and said, "What differences?" She showed him the picture. He didn't even react much. Just tapped his desk annoyingly and said, "Emily, you're not supposed to have this." "I know," she replied. "But now I do." He let out this long, irritated sigh like she was wasting his time. Then he dropped the line that made everything worse. "Look, don't go looking for problems. You're valued here." She stared at him and asked, "So why are the men getting raises and promotions?" He straightened up, suddenly defensive. "That's not what's happening." But she already knew it was. After that conversation, things got weird. People at work treated her differently. Some avoided eye contact. Some asked if she was okay. One coworker said quietly, "I heard you're trying to start trouble." Rumors spread that she was emotional, unstable, unprofessional, all because she dared to question something unfair. She emailed HR. Politely. Formally. No exaggeration. She asked for a meeting to discuss pay inequality. The meeting happened a week later. 3 men sat across from her. HR director, her supervisor, and the CFO. The HR guy kept giving corporate-style answers. "We're reviewing compensation. We appreciate your passion. These things take time." Emily knew they were brushing her off. So she dropped the sentence that changed everything. "I'm not the only one. There are at least 12 women here dealing with the same thing." All 3 men suddenly looked uncomfortable. And then the CFO said, "Emily, I hope you're not planning to involve anyone outside this company." She realized exactly what that meant. They were worried. But when she left the meeting, something unexpected happened. 2 female coworkers pulled her aside in the hallway. "We're with you," one said. "We've dealt with the same thing." Then another joined. Then another. Within a week, 9 women from different departments had quietly reached out to Emily. They met in a small coffee shop in Brooklyn after work, sitting around a wobbly table, sipping cheap lattes. Nothing fancy. Just a group of tired women comparing notes. Every single story was the same. More hours. More responsibilities. Less pay. 0 promotions. They weren't imagining it. It was real. After weeks of collecting evidence, they sent a group email to the entire upper management team. Not anonymous. Not hidden. Their names were on it. The company pretended to take it seriously. HR sent out a memo about reassessing salary structures. The CEO made a quick speech during a staff meeting. "We're committed to equality." Everyone clapped, but it felt forced. Emily didn't trust it. And she was right not to. Within a month, her project assignments were cut. Her office was moved to a smaller space near the printers. She stopped being invited to meetings she used to run. A coworker told her privately, "Greg said you're becoming a liability." She wasn't fired, but they were making her life miserable. They wanted her to quit on her own. But she didn't. She kept pushing. She reached out to a labor attorney in Manhattan. She filed a complaint with the state. And then, things got dangerous. Are you enjoying the story? Please subscribe to support the team. One night she noticed a black SUV following her home from work. Not close enough to be obvious. Just lingering. Another night, she found her car tires slashed. The police called it vandalism. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Her friends told her. Maybe you should slow down. Maybe just look for another job. Don't put yourself at risk. But Emily wasn't the type to walk away. She said, if I quit, nothing changes. That's exactly what they want. And she kept going. It was a Thursday evening. Cold, windy, crowded streets around 34th Street in Manhattan. Emily was leaving work late again. She texted her friend. Almost home. Today was stressful. That was her last message. Security camera footage later showed her walking toward the subway entrance. But then she stepped off camera for 10 seconds and never walked back into view. 10 seconds. That's all it took. The next morning, she didn't show up for work. By afternoon, her friends were calling. By evening, the police were involved. 3 days later, her body was found near the East River. No wallet. No phone. No sign of a struggle. Nothing concrete. The police called it an accident. Nobody who knew her believed that. Her co-workers knew she had been receiving threats. Her friends knew she was being followed. Her family knew she wasn't the type to accidentally fall anywhere. But the case went nowhere. Just another file in a cabinet somewhere in Manhattan. 2 weeks after her funeral, something happened that changed everything. A junior HR assistant, someone Emily had helped mentor, leaked internal emails to the press. In those emails, executives discussed the women's complaint. They admitted the pay gap. They joked about it. They called the women emotional. They called Emily the leader of the rebellion. One email even said, "Control this situation before it becomes a lawsuit." The emails went viral on social media. News outlets picked it up. New York City workers organized protests outside the Microcore building. The company panicked. Within a month, the CEO resigned. Greg was fired. 3 top executives were investigated for misconduct. And guess what? All 12 women who signed that email, including Emily, got their pay adjusted subsequently. The company announced a new hiring policy. Mandatory pay audits. Transparent salary bands. They never admitted what happened to her. They never admitted she was targeted. But everyone knew. Emily had started something too big for them to silence. A year later, Microcore Digital became the first mid-sized tech company in New York to publish salaries publicly. Women across departments were promoted. New employees learned her name during orientation. A plaque near the elevator now reads, "In honor of Emily Carter, for standing up when it was easier to stay quiet." Her parents visit it every year. Her co-workers still talk about her. Not in a sad way, but in a proud one. Because yeah, her story ended horribly. But her fight didn't. And because of her, hundreds of women in that company, and beyond, now work in a place where they're treated fairly. Emily didn't survive the battle. But she won it. Subscribe for a new story tomorrow.